Christ is risen. Hi kids, I'm Father Marek and I'm a priest and iconographer. I've written many icons, and today I'd like to explain something how icons are being done and prepared before we start applying colors. This is the finished icon of St. John the Baptist, but this icon didn't look like this at the beginning. So, before we start explaining colors in some other videos, I'd like to explain how to prepare a board. We all know that if we want to write something, paint something on a piece of paper, we need a brush, or we need a pencil, or a crayon, and then that piece of paper, a board. Or some of you, I know that some of you painted on walls at home, didn't you? You did. Probably we got into trouble because of that. But anyhow, see, here I have a prepared board that the icon is going to be written on. And this board, what we need to understand, represents Christ in the tomb. How come? Well, I'll explain. It's not just a piece of board or anything like that. What it is here, we have, look, we have the wood, then we have some braces here that they go across the wood. See, the couple of three pieces of the boards are being put together. That comes from the era when the iconography and preparing the boards was very difficult. So iconographers had to put a couple of three boards together and then put a couple of braces across, so it would hold that board together. All right? Many times they would put the boards from the old ships and all that because the wood would be preserved by the salt water. Once they did that, they would turn that board around and imagine that these boards are here, so we would have some cracks in here, right? So what the iconographer would do, he would put a piece of linen over it in order to get rid of those little cracks here, and then put gesso, which is the solution of like a powder with water with the rabbit glue, and that solution goes on so many times, 10 to 14 times, and it's being brushed off, sandpaper it with the water also, and this is that technique. So what do we learn so far is we have a piece of wood, many times braces in the back. Then we have a piece of linen that goes over that piece of wood. And then we have that gesso. So 3 parts, very practical. But the significance is also very spiritual, because the wood, look, the wood represents Christ, the tree of life. All right? Now, the piece of linen represents the linen that Christ was enshrouded in when he was in the tomb. And that gesso, that represents the stone of the tomb that Christ was in. So right there, we didn't even start writing an icon, and we have this great symbol in these 3 things. It's a life-giving tree, then the linen that Christ was enshrouded in, and then a gesso that represents the stone of the tomb. So every single icon, when we start writing, starts from the point of Christ being in the tomb. So every icon, as we're writing it, it's the process of resurrection. All right? So here is a beautiful white board, and this is how God sees us, our soul. Then we'll start applying some colors, and we're going to talk about it in our next video. Christ is risen.